Today's webinar is going to be covering how to use the Glide mobile application and will take approximately 45 minutes of your time. Today's course is a high-level overview on how to use many of the common features Glide has to offer. Before attending this training, you should have already attended or at least watched the Introduction to Glide and Disclosures training, the Use Glide to Prepare, Fill, Send, and Sign Every Realtor Form in California training, and the Glide Offers training. If you have not attended or watched any of the trainings I just mentioned, I would highly recommend reviewing those trainings first before attending this Glide mobile training. If you require more in-depth detail for each topic we are covering in today's training, please refer to our Help Center, which can be found by navigating to help.glide.com. Let's get started. During the training today, we're going to be covering how to download and sign into Glide Mobile, how to create buyer prospects and send PEAD forms for signature, how to create a new transaction, and how to complete seller disclosures, order NHD reports, and fill out AVIDs. We will also be covering how to fill and send forms using Glide's e-signature tools, how to create, manage, and counter as well as accept offers in Glide, and how to utilize Glide's Brokerage Edition features in the mobile application. We'll start today's training with an overview of how to download and sign into Glide Mobile. To verify your account to get access to the form library in Glide, either as part of the workflow when signing up for a Glide account or when prompted in Glide, first enter your NRDS ID. Then enter your last name. Lastly, click Verify. Once your account is verified, you will now have access to the entire CAR standard form library. This will need to be completed using the web-based platform, not the mobile application. We suggest setting everything up from a computer first, including creating transaction templates and a clause library, then using the mobile application to complete your daily tasks while you're on the go afterwards. The mobile application for iOS devices can be found in the App Store by searching for Glide for Real Estate Agents. Look for the purple and white Glide logo just to ensure that you're downloading the correct app. The mobile application is currently only available for iPhones. However, we will have an Android app coming out later this year. After downloading the mobile application, to create a new account, tap Create an Account and follow the step-by-step workflow to set up your new Glide account. If you already have an existing Glide account, tap Login, and then next you're going to enter your email address, then tap Continue. Lastly, you'll enter your password. Then tap Continue one more time to log into your Glide account. If you have forgotten your password, you can tap the Forgot Password link to receive an email with a link to reset your password. Now that we've covered how to download and sign into Glide Mobile, we'll next take a look at how to create a buyer prospect and also send PEAD forms for signature. To create a new buyer prospect, tap on the menu on the top left of the screen, then select Buyer Prospects. From the Buyer Prospects page, tap the plus button, then tap Add a Buyer Agent. You will need to select an agent from the list of contacts, then tap Continue. Next, tap Add a Buyer. You'll select the buyer from your list of contacts, or select Create New Contact if there are no contacts in your list yet. Once the buyer has been selected, tap Continue. To create a new PEAD request, in the Overview section, first tap Fill and Sign a PEAD form. Then tap Add a Property. Enter the property address details. Optionally, you can check the box next to Send an email to listing agent once PEAD is signed, and you can enter the listing agent's information to send a signed copy to the listing agent after the PEAD has been signed by all parties. Tap Save to add the property address, then tap Continue. Note that you can add multiple properties during a single PEAD request workflow. Next, you will have the opportunity to add any additional agents, buyers, or other entrants that will need to sign the PED. Tap on Add Agents, Add Buyers, or Add Other Entrant. Enter their information in the fields provided. Then tap OK. After all entrants have been added who will be visiting the properties, tap Continue. Next, you will need to confirm the Section 9 terms, which are located on the bottom third of the PED form today. Once you tap Continue, the PED forms will be automatically generated. Once they finish generating, you can tap on a tile to view all of the available forms. Once you have viewed each form, tap Send for Signatures. Select Glide Signatures as your signing provider, then tap Continue. You have the option to edit the message to all recipients by editing the subject line or the body of the email. Then tap Continue once you finish. The PED request will be sent off to your selected recipients. To review a PED request after it has already been sent, first tap on the PED Request tab within the Buyer Prospect section. Then tap on a submitted PED request. From this page, you can tap Resend for Signature to resend the request to select recipients, or tap Archive to remove this PED request. If you scroll down on the screen, you can review the signature request details as well as all entrants that were added to the form. Now that we've covered how to create buyer prospects and send PED forms for signature, we'll next take a look at how to create a new transaction. To create a new transaction, first tap the plus button, then tap the search name or email field. Select the primary agent from the contact list, then tap Continue. There are two ways to add property information. To add property information manually, first enter an address, then tap Continue. Alternatively, to search by the MLS, tap on Search by MLS, then tap the drop-down to select an MLS from the list. Next, enter an MLS number, then tap Continue. The MLS information will be automatically imported into the transaction and will pre-fill in any forms going forward. Once the property address has been added, next you will need to select a transaction type and transaction status. First, select one of the available transaction types, including listing, purchase, lease listing, or lease. Then select the status of the transaction from the available options. Scroll down a little farther on the screen and you will see the option to apply a transaction template. To apply a template, first tap the Select Template dropdown, then select a template from the list. Once all selections have been made, tap Continue. Next, you will be prompted to add any additional team members that will also be working on this transaction. Tap either Add Listing Agent, Listing Broker, or Team Admin or TC, then choose the team member from the list or select Create New Contact. Then tap Continue. On the next screen, tap Add a Seller. Choose the seller from the list or select Create New Contact. Once the sellers have been added, tap Continue. The last page you will see will give you the option to add any additional transaction details. To add additional details, tap on any of the tiles listed and enter any necessary information. Tap Continue once all information has been entered. After tapping Continue, you will be taken to the Overview section for the transaction. Now that we have covered how to create a new transaction, we'll next take a look at how to complete seller disclosures, order NHD reports, and fill out AVIDs. First, to request seller disclosures, tap the Prepare Disclosure Package tile in the Overview section of a transaction. Then review the Seller Disclosures workflow. Optionally, you can check the box next to Got It don't show this screen again to bypass the introduction screen the next time you are preparing a disclosure package for future transactions. Next, tap Continue. The TDS and the SBQ will be added by default, but you can select any additional disclosure forms by tapping Add Another Form dropdown and selecting a disclosure from the list. Once all required disclosure forms have been selected, tap Continue. Then you will be required to complete the disclosure details. First, enter the block, lot, or APN number. If you use the MLS import initially when creating the transaction, this information will be added automatically. Next, select a listing agent's inspection disclosure tile. Then select an option for whether you are aware of the property being in an HOA, condominium, or planned unit development or other common interest subdivision. Lastly, select a tile for the type of property, then tap Continue. You will then need to select the disclosure parties. Your existing transaction parties will be automatically added, but you can tap Add Seller or Add Another Party to Transaction to add additional parties to receive the disclosure forms. If you do add more parties, tap the drop-down next to the additional parties and select either Fills Form or Won't Fill, depending on whether or not the parties need to fill out the disclosure forms. To remove a party, tap the X next to the individual. Tap Continue once all parties have been added. To send off the disclosure forms to be filled out by the seller, first select the location the seller will be filling out the disclosure forms, either remotely or in person. Then you have the option to edit the subject and message fields in the email. If you have added a lot of information to the message, you can choose to save this as a template or choose Apply a Template to apply an existing email template message. Once all selections have been made, tap Send. A confirmation message will appear once the seller disclosures have been successfully sent. The next step in the process after sending off the seller disclosure package is to order an NHD report. To order an NHD report, first tap Place an Order in the Order Natural Hazard Disclosure tile. Next, select an NHD company from the available options listed. Then tap Next Report Type at the bottom right. Select the appropriate report type from the list of available options. Optionally, if you work with the same NHD rep each time you order a report, you can add their information here. Tap Add an NHD rep, enter their email or referral code, then tap Add. Lastly, tap Next Order Details. To submit an NHD report order, first confirm the agent's information. Optionally, you can enter the escrow information at this time. Then tap Place Order once all necessary information has been added. After sending off seller disclosures and ordering an NHD report, now it's time to create an Avid. To create an Avid, first tap Fill Avid in the Fill and Add Avid tile. If you already have a completed Avid and just need to upload it to Glide, select Upload Completed PDF. If you need to create a new Avid in Glide, select Use Glide's Guided Avid Workflow. Then tap Continue. Next, select an option for whether the property is a duplex, triplex, or fourplex, then tap Continue. To complete the Avid setup, next enter the brokerage name and then tap Next. Confirm the inspection time, then tap Continue. Confirm the weather conditions, then tap Continue. Lastly, enter who else was present during the Avid inspection, then tap Continue one more time. To enter observations for an Avid, first tap the plus Add New on the top right of the screen. Then select the property observation to add, enter the observation, then tap Attach Files and choose either Photo Library, Take Photo, or Browse. Tap Save once the photo has been uploaded. Tap Edit to make any edits to any existing observations. Click Done once all observations for the property have been made. To review and submit an Avid, first enter any other observed or known conditions not specified before. However, this is optional. Tap Continue, then confirm whether there is an addendum for any additional rooms or structures. Once your selection is made, tap Continue. The Avid will be automatically generated within a few seconds. Then you can tap Finish to return to the Disclosures section of the transaction. There are two ways to share disclosure packages after they have been completed. To share disclosure packages by email, first tap Share. Then select a role, whether it's the buyer agent or the buyer. Then enter their name and their email address. Optionally, you can enter a personal message, then tap OK to send the email. Alternatively, to share the disclosure package by link, first tap Share, then tap By Link. Next, tap the drop-down and choose a link sharing option. Tap Copy to copy the link to be able to send to any interested parties. Tap OK to close the disclosure package sharing options page. Now that we have covered how to complete seller disclosures, order NHD reports, and fill out an Avid, we will next walk through the steps to fill and send forms for e-signature using Glide Mobile. After creating a transaction, to add forms from the form library, first tap the Add Forms to Transaction tile. Then check the box next to each document you want to add to the transaction. Lastly, tap Add and the forms will be added to your document section. Alternatively, to scan and upload forms manually, first tap the paper with the plus sign button. Select Scan a Document, then tap OK to give Glide access to your phone's camera. Then tap the circle at the bottom to take a picture and upload it to the document section. To fill out forms in Glide Mobile, first tap on a form in the document section. Next, tap on a field and enter any necessary information. You can tap on any linked fields to edit them if needed as well. Tap on the floppy disk icon to save the document, then tap Close on the top left of the screen. Alternatively, you can use the Form Wizard to fill out the form. After tapping on a form in the document section, tap Start Filling. You will be able to fill the form out section by section by tapping on Add in each field to enter information. Tap Continue to move through the Form Wizard workflow from section to section. Tap Close when finished filling out the form. Another useful tool in the Glide mobile application is the option to merge forms together. To merge forms, first check the dials next to each form you want to merge together. Then tap the menu on the bottom right and then select Merge. Enter a new document name, then tap Save. The new merged document will be added to the document section. Once the forms have been filled out, to send them for signature, first tap the e-sign icon. Next, select a signing provider. You then have the option to tap the drop-down to add additional forms to the envelope. Once the signing provider and documents have been selected, tap Continue. Next, you will need to select your signers and recipients. If you would like to set a signing order, tap the toggle towards the top left of the page to turn signing order on. This toggle will be off by default. If the signing order toggle is turned on, use either the numbers on the left or the 6-dot icon to the left of the contact's name to set a signing order. Optionally, you can tap Add a Recipient to add additional signers or recipients. Tap the drop-down next to each signer and the recipient to select either Needs to Sign or CC. CC is carbon copy, just like in an email. It will place any recipients with the CC designation at the bottom of the list and will send this recipient a signed copy of the document after it has been signed by all parties. Tap Continue once all of the selections have been made. To prepare the documents for e-signature, first tap on the document. Then you will have the option to add any additional tabs to that document. To add additional tabs, first tap on the tab, then tap on the screen to place the tab. Tap back when you're finished adding additional tabs. Lastly, tap Next to send the forms for e-signature. To review signature requests that have been sent, first tap the ellipsis and then select View. You can tap either Refresh Status to update the e-signature request status, Resend to resend the request, or Void to void the request. Tap Back to return to the signature section. Now that we have covered how to fill and send forms for e-signature, next we will cover the process of creating, managing, negotiating, and accepting offers using Glide Mobile. To create an offer package as a buyer agent, after initially creating a purchase transaction, first tap on the Offers tab. Then tap Start Offer Package. Optionally, you can tap Add or Remove more documents, then tap Add to Offer Package or skip. Once the documents have been uploaded to the offer package, check the box next to each document to send for signature. Then tap Get Signatures and walk through the e-signature workflow. Once the documents have been signed, tap Next, Prepare Offer Email. Review the steps to submit your offer, then click Continue. Next, you will need to add agent and buyer information. First tap Buyer Agent 1, then select or enter a buyer agent. Next tap Buyer 1, then select or enter a buyer. Once your agents and buyers have been selected, tap Continue. Then tap Listing Agent and enter the listing agent's information. Tap Save once all information has been entered. Then tap Continue. Next, you will need to summarize offer key terms and contingencies. To do so, tap Click to apply terms first. Then tap Add in any section to add information that may be missing. Tap Continue, then tap on any section with existing information to edit that information if needed. Lastly, tap Continue. To submit an offer package as a buyer agent after the offer package has been created, first enter the listing agent's email. Optionally, you can enter their phone number as well. Check the box to confirm the listing agent's information is correct, then tap Continue. You have the option to add any additional information to that email, then choose a document delivery option and confidence booster at the bottom of the email page. Lastly, tap Continue to send the offer package to the listing agent. To review offers as a listing agent once they've been sent to you in Glide, first tap on a received offer from the Offer section in a listing transaction. You can view the offer highlights, any key terms, and contingencies from this page. You can also add any notes that can be visible to both you and the seller for this specific offer. You have the option to tap Download All to download all documents submitted by the buyer agent. At the bottom of the offer, you will be able to view all activity for this specific offer. From the Offer section in a listing transaction, to manage the offer submission preferences, first tap Customize. You can turn the Accepting Offers toggle on or off for this property, but it will be on by default. You can select a submission deadline, whether it is open-ended, or you can specify a date and time. You can enter any instructions for the buyer agents, which will be seen by all buyer agents who go through the process to submit an offer for the property. If you would like to receive text messages whenever an offer is submitted, you will need to check the box under Notifications. Lastly, you can tap Upload Photo to upload a contact photo of yourself or adjust any contact information as needed. Once all of your selections have been made, tap Save. To manage offer sharing options and give your seller access to view all offers in their own Glide account, first tap the Offer Sharing button. Next, turn on the toggle to enable offers in your seller's workspace. You can add additional sellers by tapping on Add Seller. You also have the option to turn on the toggle to mask buyer information from sellers, which will hide the buyer's names and documentation from the seller's view in their own Glide account. Tap OK once all changes have been made. You have the option to enter a custom email message to the seller, then tap Send Invites. To create a counteroffer, first tap on a submitted offer in the Offer section of a listing transaction. Then tap Counter. Next, select the latest offer document that has not been signed, then tap Continue. If you have already completed the counter document, choose I have already prepared a counter. If not, select I need to create a counter with Glide and continue through the counteroffer workflow. Lastly, select the type of counter, either single counteroffer or multiple counteroffer, then tap Continue. After you have selected which counter document to use, you will be taken right into the document. Enter any necessary information into the counteroffer document, then tap the Save icon. Tap back to return to the counteroffer package page. From here, check the box next to the forms to send for signature. Then tap Get Signatures and walk through the e-signature workflow. Once the forms have been signed, tap Next, Prepare Counter Email. To confirm the counteroffer terms before submitting the counteroffer, first tap Add to specify the counter terms. Then tap Continue. Optionally, you can tap Click to edit summary, then tap OK to be able to make any necessary adjustments to the offer terms. Once all of the information has been added, tap Continue. To submit a completed counteroffer, first enter the purchase agent's email. Optionally, you can enter their phone number as well. Check the box to confirm the purchase agent's contact information is correct, then tap Continue. You have the option to add any additional information to that email, then choose a document delivery option and confidence booster at the bottom of that email page. Lastly, tap Continue to send the counteroffer package to the purchase agent. This process can be done either as the listing agent or as the purchase agent to allow agents to counter back and forth directly through Glide's platform. To accept an offer, after tapping on a submitted offer, tap Accept. Then select the latest offer documents that have not been signed. Tap Continue, then check the box next to each document to send for signature. Then tap Get Signatures and walk through the e-signature workflow. Once the documents have been signed, tap Next, Prepare Accept Email. To submit an acceptance offer, first enter the purchase agent's email. Optionally, you can enter their phone number as well. Check the box to confirm the purchase agent's contact information is correct, then tap Continue. You have the option to add any additional information to the email, then choose a document delivery option and confidence booster at the bottom of the email page. Lastly, tap Continue to send the offer acceptance email and documentation to the purchase agent. Now that we have covered how to create, manage, negotiate, and accept offers, the last topic we will cover today is the Brokerage Edition of Glide as it relates to Glide Mobile. We are currently working on updating the Brokerage Edition features available in the Glide mobile application. However, as a broker with the brokerage account, you can view all transactions within your brokerage account by tapping on the menu icon, then tapping Brokerage. This will give you visibility into each transaction that has been created by agents and transaction coordinators within your brokerage. This is currently the only brokerage-specific functionality in the Glide mobile application, but we will be adding many more Brokerage Edition features in the near future. During today's training, we covered how to download and sign into Glide Mobile, how to create buyer prospects and send PEAD forms for signature, how to create a new transaction, and how to complete seller disclosures, order NHD reports, and fill out AVIDs. We also covered how to fill and send forms using Glide's e-signature tools, how to create, manage, counter, and accept offers in Glide, and how to utilize Glide's Brokerage Edition features in the mobile application. If you need any additional support following today's training, you can navigate to our Help Center, which is help.glide.com. There is a search bar at the top where you can search for any keywords relating to the questions that you have. If you can't find the answer that you're looking for in our Help Center, please feel free to reach out to our support team by emailing support@glide.com.